Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Vice Chair, for this opportunity to speak. As you can imagine, this has been nothing short of just an unbelievable day for law enforcement. I am pleased to report today that our deputy, our investigator, who was involved in this unfortunate, tragic incident, is alive. He is well, and he's surrounded by his family tonight. I'm not going to disclose his name today, but I will tell you this. He is a 21-year veteran. I've had the opportunity to work with him for those 21 years, shoulder to shoulder, in many cases, and I can tell you he is an outstanding investigator. He's done a great job in bringing some of the most ruthless criminals to justice in our community. Today he found himself literally pumping gas at a local gas station. But unbeknownst to him, just down the road about a mile and a half was the unspeakable. A horrific incident was occurring. An individual came into our community at 7:30 in the morning at a gas station where most people are just getting gas and getting their morning cup of coffee. We've all done that. I do that daily, literally daily. I get my morning cup of joe, if you will, and there's a 22-year-old young man getting his car tank full of gas and getting ready to go to work, and along came this, for lack of better words, a maniac. He came in. I watched that video, and I can tell you that in my 27 years of service to this community, I've never seen. I spent a decade in investigations. I've seen some very horrific things, folks. I've never seen anything like this in my life. He lied in wait. He sat there and waited for the right opportunity. And when he was done pumping gas, he quietly walked up to him and shot him dead. And then rummaged through his pockets to find a set of car keys to get into his vehicle, to find out he didn't want that car. He got out of that vehicle and found another random person driving through the gas station, which, by the way, could have been any one of us. And he shot at that person. That person got out of there as fast as they could. When he realized there was no other victim that he could attack, he got back into his vehicle and headed eastbound on Highway K and went into the mobile station. What he did know is that our investigator was beginning his shift, loading up. He's an undercover officer with my office. He has a very special assignment. He's very talented, very skilled at what he does. And he's filling up the squad car, getting his morning cup of coffee, I imagine, and doing what he wanted to do. And along came this individual. This individual, it's clear to me after watching the video, had no idea who he was about to encounter. And we're splitting seconds here. He came out, gun drawn, and approached the investigator and started to shoot at him. We are again splitting seconds. The investigator immediately began firing back at him, falling to the ground himself, taking on at least 2 rounds, and firing back at him. At the end of the day, the suspect is deceased. It is unfortunate that anyone had to lose their life today. But my heart goes out to this 22-year-old young man at the pilot station where this whole incident began, who was going to work, was just putting gas in the car. I look back at this. I have a 22-year-old son who goes to the gas station and he's got $10 or $15 in his pocket just to top off the tank. Unbeknownst to him, there might be somebody lurking around the corner who wants to end everything that he's about. And that's what happened today. It's sad and it's tragic. So where do we go from here? We have great partnerships. As the state statutes mandate, we bring an outside agency. I chose to bring in DCI, Division of Criminal Investigations in the state of Wisconsin, to come in and handle this very unfortunate event. They handled the shooting at that officer-involved shooting, as you can imagine, and we are taking care of these unfortunate situations at the pilot station. We have a great working relationship with the Caledonia Police Department, and they are working with that situation as well and working collaboratively with all of us. So I bring this to your attention because you are the County Board of Supervisors, and when I look back at this entire situation today, and I look back at the loss of life, and what could have happened, and what we did prevent, when I went to the bedside of our investigator this morning, just before 8 o'clock this morning, there with his wife, who I picked up at her home, and their child, and talking to him, he wasn't worried about anything but the person that he had seen while he was firing back at this person who was trying to end his life and the lives of others. And he's seen, and beyond that, was another innocent person who was getting in their car. And he was thinking to himself, as I'm firing, are my rounds going to hit somebody innocent? And that's what he asked me in the hospital. While he lied there with bullet holes in his own body, he said, Sheriff, did I hit anybody innocent? That's what he asked me. Nothing else, that's what he asked me. So those are the county employees that you have here. These are the budgets that you pass, the equipment that we need, and the training that we deserve and put within and still within our staff. So as you prepare your budget, please look at these situations. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where the training comes into play. This is where the equipment comes in handy, if I may, right? It's not about equipment and training, but we have to think about mental health for our staff as well. I spent most of my day talking to our staff on second shift, and I'll be through third shift tonight talking to our staff tonight to try to deal with this situation. You know what they want to know? Do I stand for them? Am I going to back them up, if you will? And will this board stand with them when they do the right thing, when they protect the community, when they protect themselves in the spirit of public safety? So I don't need an answer from you tonight, but I just ask you to ask yourselves, do we support law enforcement? Do we support public safety? Do we support the fundamental role of government, which I believe is the protection of its people? Now, it's easy for me to say as your sheriff. I've been a sheriff for going almost 12 years. I've been in this job for 27. My hair probably shows that with the gray hair, but at the end of the day, I love this job, and I have a great staff. And everyone in this room should be proud of the staff that we have. They're out there every day, every night, giving selfishly of themselves. They put their lives on the line. This investigator today, I've known him. I know him personally. I know his family. He left this morning to fill up his tank of gas, and he was going to go out and do an operation that I knew about. Nothing related to what happened. This was supposed to be another day for him. Another day of bringing justice to our community. But it ended in tragedy. It's unfortunate. Truly unfortunate. But I look back at what, I hate to say this, but I am glad that it was him and not a random citizen. Because he was armed and he was trained and he knew what to do when somebody encountered him. Otherwise, this maniac would have went on another rampage. He just shot a 22-year-old young man, executed him, and he was going to go right down the line. And this was 7:30 in the morning. This gas station was flourishing with people, getting their gas and their coffee and all the rest. He would have undoubtedly went right through the line, and it probably been more of a mass shooting. But our investigator was able to stop that in its tracks. Yes, he suffered injuries. Yes, he put his life on the line. But that is what we do. And I don't want you to lose sight of that. So today I just make a plea, not only for law enforcement and public safety in general, but you have other items on your agenda as well that pertain to what we do in law enforcement, whether it be corrections or deputies. And I just ask that you give that some consideration when we start looking at some of these budgets and some of this equipment. Now, I know there are some people in this room that don't support law enforcement. I know there are some people that vocally said that there should be citizens making traffic stops. I've heard this. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's insane. Look at what happened today. You want a citizen making a traffic stop in this young man? He just executed a 22-year-old for no reason. There's a family preparing a funeral tonight for that reason. But we should have a citizen making a traffic stop. That is insane and idiotic, if anything else. I would just suggest that we just reel things in as a community. We're not Minneapolis. We're not California. We're not New York. We're in Racine, Wisconsin. We're different. We have a trained, professional law enforcement arena here. We can do this job. We've demonstrated this job, but we need your support. Everyone in this room, we need your support. So that said, that is my update. I wish I could provide you more.